remember that as we walk down. I want to introduce my co-MC from CC for Justice. Right,
Hello everyone, I'm so happy to be here with you guys. My name is Jalen. I am representing Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar today. Alright, thank you. I'm going to start us off with a chant. Say it loud, say it clear, and then y'all going to say, immigrants are welcome here. Okay, and then I'm going to say, don't give in to racist fear. Immigrants are welcome here. Okay, you got it? Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Don't give in to racist fear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Don't give in to racist fear. Immigrants are welcome here. One more time, say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Don't give in to racist fear. Immigrants are welcome here. Beautiful. Thank you so much for having us today. We are just here standing in solidarity, and thank you so much for being here. We're going to have a good list of speakers for you guys. We're going to have a march, and we're going to have a good time, good safe time. Happy Halloween to those who celebrate. Thank you again.
All right, y'all. We're going to have a couple of speakers first. All right. First, I want to introduce David Gilbert. Peterson. Yeah, so give it up for David.
Hello everybody, my name is David Gilbert Pedersen. I'm an educator, an organizer, and a member of the Fighting Working Class. I'm here with Minnesota Workers United, an organization of rank and file union members fighting for the communities and the future our people deserve. We're so proud to be here in solidarity to say dump Trump, because Trump has been a disaster for the working class. In terms of unions, Trump has had an all-out assault on workers' rights, from his reclassification of federal workers as at-will employees to his attacks on collective bargaining and his attacks on immigrant rights. And immigrants are an attack on the working class as well. So we're here to stand in solidarity and say dump Trump, but also that Trump is only endemic of a larger system that is built to hurt our people. Immigrants, working class people, black people, indigenous people. And so what we say is no matter who wins the election, we need to keep the pressure on. We need to stay in the streets. We need to keep the fire at the feet of the greedy politicians. Regardless of who wins the election, the corporations will still run this country. But we say no. We say we want a better future, a future where the people decide for ourselves what is best for us, not these greedy politicians and these expropriative and exploitive wealthy corporations. We're proud to be here today. We are proud to be marching with MIRAC the day after the election at 6 p.m. at 301 Cedar Avenue. I'm going to end with a really quick chant. It's a new one. We're just going to try it out. Trump, Biden, no retreat. Keep your ass out in the street. Trump, Biden, no retreat. Keep your ass out in the street. Trump, Biden, no retreat.
Keep your ass out in the street. Trump, Biden, no retreat. Keep your ass out in the street.
Hey, give it up for him, y'all. That was lit. Thank you so much for coming out, David. That was incredible. All right, so our next speaker that we're going to have, Fernando Sanchez, a member of MIRAC, and he's going to tell you about where he's at with all this. So, yeah, give it up for Fernando.
Thank you everybody thank you Mayor for the invitation. Aquí,
¡Arriba mi presidente!
arriba Obrador. You guys know Morena, you know a little bit about who's the newest political party in Mexico. Our leader, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, AMLO, that's what we call it for short. He's doing a great job. For so many years, Mexico was under this corruption system that didn't allow us, a lot of people to get ahead, and the poor people keep getting poorer and poorer. So what we did, that's what we're doing here today. The people got united. We got together. And we said enough is enough. And we have trying to change the system in Mexico. And that's what we're trying to do over here. The immigrants on this side, we're trying to get into the new system. If you guys didn't know, or for arts immigrants, in Trump's new agenda, he gets reelected, we are not going to be looking good. We are not going to be looking good for TPS, DACA, and everything. This guy is on the back burner, just waiting to get reelected. So that's what we hear, because this fight, this struggle, is not just about color. This is just about rights, and our rights every day they're being violated. Starting with the police brutality, family separations at the border. Just lately, like a week ago or so, 500 plus kids lost their families. How do you lose your family? That ain't right. We are not going to go back what they did when they got here to the school burden and stuff. That's what they're trying to do. And they do it every day. Our kids, our youth, they don't know. When their parents go to work, they don't know what's going to come back. And this system is in a hunt of immigrants, especially the hard-working people. When you hear about a raid that they got people, 100 plus, they don't go raid the bars or the streets. They go raid the working places. So that's what is telling you that we're here to work. We're not here to solve the system, by far. And if we're not getting back what we're supposed, what will belong to us, when it comes to pay taxes, tickets, fines, and everything, we are equal. What is our rights? What our rights are? Well, I just wanted, thank you everybody for being here today, and MIRAC for the invitation. Today, we are celebrating Day of the Dead. And to my personal opinion, I would ask you a minute of silence. But if we do that, we'll be silent forever. So today we're going to make some noise, and we're going to remember those ones that had lost their lives in the struggle, in the border, everywhere. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here today.
If y'all don't know what that means the police, ICE, it's the same bullshit. It's the same damn thing that's coming all after us.
Okay, I want you guys to help me welcome Samantha Gonzalez. She is an amazing community member with boots on the ground. Please help me in welcoming Samantha.
Thanks everybody for coming out today. My name's Samantha P. Gonzalez. I stand here because of immigrants. My grandparents were both Mexican immigrants from Mexico, from Navajo, Sonora, and I'm here only because of them. If not for immigrants, my mother wouldn't have been born, and therefore I wouldn't have been born. As a black Chicana that's standing here today, there's a lot of things that I've been thinking about as far as what I wanted to talk about today. And one thing that stood out to me is this recent bullshit from Trump that anti-racism is anti-patriotic. So let's break that down. What that's saying is that racism is patriotic.
So let's talk about what that means, and let's talk about what immigrants actually provide to this country. Let's go back and review our history so that we can remember the power that we have and we can stand tall in it. This land was stolen from our indigenous relatives, to include Mexico, Puerto Rico, Guam, the Hawaiian Islands, and they used us to experiment on us with our body. They gave us diseases, they gave us drugs, they gave us alcohol, they gave drugs and guns to other countries, which were brought here, and they were brought directly into our communities. The fake war on drugs, in which they poured these drugs and these guns into our community that remain here today, while these cops, who are nothing more than racist white supremacists who infiltrated over time while we weren't paying attention, are the ones that are still out here with these slave patrols controlling us. And they keep continuing to create more and more enforcement groups, whether it's ICE, the Department of Human Services, all of those services, whether they're enforcement or not, are there to control us, to control dollars, to control funds, to control access, to control resources, to control the education system so that we don't learn anything about ourselves except for how we lost our land, how we were enslaved, which then makes us hate ourselves because we don't learn about ourselves, which is why we go out in community and shoot each other in the back. Because we don't know ourselves. They taught us to hate ourselves. What we have to decide right now is how far are we going to go. Because it's time for us to get uncomfortable. If the working class stopped working right now, there wouldn't be any capitalism. There wouldn't be any system. This country was built on our backs, and our ancestors paid in full with their blood, their sweat, and their tears. So for them to tell us what we can do on our own land, when are we going to stand up and say enough is enough and stand in our power and take back what was always ours? There's 99% of us and there's 1% of them. We have to step into our power and be willing to go as far as we need to go. We've been asleep, if you think about it, because we've had all this time to get away with not paying our rent. So what we should have done is to stop working and start working for ourselves. I want to tell you a little bit about how that's done. A group of at least 100 volunteers, if not more, to include myself, spent the last 6 months putting in all of our labor for free to helping the unhoused. Who makes up the unhoused in this city, which is over 2,000 people? Black and brown and indigenous people. And they're kicking us out of the parks on our own land. Where do they want for us to go? If you can't be in the parks, if you can't be under the bridges, if you can't be on the public sidewalks, if you can't be anywhere, where do they want for us to go? Where do they want for them to go? I'll tell you what they want. They want us to die. They can't answer the question of where they want us to go because they don't intend on us going anywhere but 6 feet under. That's what they want. So if you look at the numbers of what we actually provide to this country, $1.5 trillion of earned income in 2017 alone from immigrants. And we paid $405 billion in taxes as immigrants. DACA residents, which is separate from that other category, earned $23.4 billion in this country and paid $2.2 billion in federal taxes and another $1.8 billion in state and local taxes. Immigrants that are in a protected status paid $891 million in federal taxes, $654 million in state and local taxes, which then brings us to our actual undocumented immigrants. $200 billion in spending power. $200 billion. We can solve our own crisis if we stop paying money into these goods and services and systems that we don't run, we don't operate, and nothing comes back to us or the communities. Our black community, and I'm speaking from the black and Chicana point of view because that's who I am, so I'm not going to speak for other people. So I'm not leaving other immigrants out. Or other groups of people out. The economic benefit in the states that are the largest, $12 billion in Texas, $18 million in New York, $38 billion in California. That's what fuels the economy. Listen to the numbers and do the math. We are the economy. The money that we pay is upholding the systems that we're fighting against that are oppressing us. So we're feeding the system ourselves. There is no representation in that taxation. And even the people that we do have that look like us, not all kinfolk are skinfolk. And not all skinfolk are kinfolk. You could say it both ways. Because we have people that are in there claiming to be progressive. Minneapolis is the 4th worst city in the whole United States just for black people to live in. So if the Democratic Party has been in charge in Minneapolis at the local level for the last 2 decades, and they have a majority right now, it takes 7 votes out of 13, 9 depending on what you're trying to do, and all 13 of them to make a charter change. So if at least 7 of them are progressive, because that's what they told us, why the fuck hasn't a goddamn thing changed here in Minneapolis? We don't gotta wait on no charter change to put protections in place so that these cops aren't out here killing us. How many more people have to die before they do something? We don't need a charter change for that. We don't need a charter change to have a community budget where we show up and tell them what the priorities are and tell them what are going to be funded. They waste money on all of these pet projects. They want to knock out that Kmart to put another streetcar in. But yet they go to the state and they ask for bonding money for rapid transit options. So what sense does it make to go up there and want to put in a slow-ass train, a streetcar? That ain't going to get nobody from A to B faster than rapid transit. So they say they're doing one thing and they do another, and the dollars don't come to us in our community. You got North Minneapolis and parts of South Minneapolis that were redlined. Those decades and decades of that redlining led to the lack of infrastructure and funding in those communities, and there's a reason why those communities don't have any of the things that you see here, and none of it is community owned. All this shit should be cooperatively owned. We have the power to do that. The money that we spend on goods and services that we do not own, we could have bought up every empty county lot in this city and put whatever the hell we want to put on it, and it's not too late. So this is a call to action for us to step into our power, stop asking for handouts, stop asking for them to do their job, demand that they do it, and if they don't count on us if we can't count on you. Because we will get you out of those seats and put our own community people in control and have community control of our police, have community control of our budget, and have community control of our neighborhoods. Ever since George Floyd was tortured and murdered, it's been community that has been holding this city down. With our dollars, with our labor, with our passion, with our ancestors behind us, we have been holding this city down. And if we were to all stop doing all the things that we do today, there wouldn't be any Minneapolis. And they know it. Fry, his ass needs to fry. He said he was going to end homelessness in 5 years. We're 3 years in, and they haven't done a damn thing. We have people in hotels that a Muslim nonprofit organization that's volunteer ran so that their funding goes 100% to programming that has been paying for these hotels since June. They were denied money from the state to continue this program. They've been talking about community being the problem. This is absolute. This housing crisis is 100% related to all of these things that we're talking about. And when these damn restrictions that they put on with the executive order expire, a lot more of us are going to be out on the street. Now is the time to step into our power and not to take, but to reclaim. What is ours has always been ours. We didn't put up the boundaries or the walls. They did. Viva la raza, viva la people, all the people, a la gente. We are one nation, one united. And when we realize it, we can smash this capitalist system, we can smash this racism, and we can reclaim everything that's ours for ourselves and the future generations of us that will never get to meet. But we will empower them when we become the ancestors.
Another round for Samantha, please, and her powerful words. Thank you, thank you. All right, to echo Samantha's words, community control of the police is what we need today. It just has to happen, you guys. CCC for J is having CCC for J and many others. We're going to have a protest the day after the election. It's going to be at 301 Cedar Avenue South. Please come out. We have power. Boots on the ground. Power of the people. We got this. So again, please do that. So,
my bad. Sorry. I was reading the person in line. So give it up for Tracy from Climate Justice Committee. Woo! Tracy!
So as mentioned, I'm with the Climate Justice Committee, a growing group of activists fighting for systemic changes to the mounting climate crisis. Our roots are in the anti-war movement, and so we approach the fight for climate justice from this standpoint. The U.S. military and the U.S. government are some of the biggest polluters around the globe. Now, all of us could make more environmentally friendly choices, eating less meat, buying less, whatever. But that wouldn't change the mounting climate crisis and the brink of disaster that we are quickly approaching. The U.S. military and giant corporations are destroying the world in the pursuit of profits and greater societal control. And climate change isn't affecting the world evenly. Marginalized people and communities are disproportionately bearing the brunt of temperature shifts, droughts, warming water temperatures, fires, hurricanes, typhoons. They're all creating more and more climate refugees. And immigration from climate disasters and climate change are growing exponentially. This means that the fight for immigrant rights and climate justice are intricately connected. Now this year, this election cycle, the presidential candidates, it's pretty clear. Trump denies science. He denies the reality of climate change. He continues to roll back environmental protections, including this last Thursday when he opened up more than half of Alaska's Tongass National Forest to logging and development. So the Tongass National Forest is one of the biggest intact temperate rainforests, and this action by Trump's Department of Agriculture represents the most sweeping public land rollback Trump has done to date. Now Biden, on the other hand, he believes in the importance of action on the environment and climate change. He promises he will re-enter the Paris Climate Agreement and work to reduce greenhouse gases, including carbon emissions. The fact that he believes in climate change and its imminent threat to our environment puts him miles ahead of Trump. But the CJC knows, in fact, that Biden's plan to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 2050 is not enough. And we know that no matter what happens on Tuesday, we need to continue to fight. We need to continue to get into the streets. And that is, we're hoping that you'll join us. We've got flyers going around. We've got an upcoming new members meeting. And you can follow us on social media at Climate Justice MN. I want to end with the chant. What do we want? Climate justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Climate justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Climate justice. When do we want it? Now. That's right. Thank you.
All right, y'all ready to march?
all right, is everyone ready? Got the energy in the room? We got some chants ready for you? Okay, so it goes 2, 4, 6, 8. Abolish ICE, we can't wait. 3, 5, 7, 9. Close the camps, now's the time. Again, 2, 4, 6, 8. Abolish ICE, we can't wait. 3, 5, 7, 9. Close the camps, now's the time. 2, 4, 6, 8. Abolish ICE, we can't wait. 3, 5, 7, 9. Close the camps, now's the time.
All right, y'all. We're going to wait for a second. I'm going to ask y'all to go this way a little bit because we're going to pull up the car real quick. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it?
No good cops in a racist system. 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 All right, let's roll. No good cops in a racist system.
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
No good cops in a racist system. No borders, no nation, no racist deportation. No borders,
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this live stream today in Minneapolis on Halloween. We're at Lagoon and DuPont and obviously just starting to march, heading over to Lake Street. If you haven't already, now would be an awesome time to share this live stream.
peace. Prosecute the police. No justice, no 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 peace. Prosecute the police.
Hey, yo, I know y'all don't like this chat. No killer cops, no KKK, no racist USA.
No killer cops, no KKK, no racist USA. No killer cops, no KKK, no racist USA. No killer cops, no KKK, no racist USA. No killer cops, no KKK, no racist USA. No killer cops, no KKK, no racist USA. No killer cops, no KKK, no racist USA. No killer cops, no KKK, no racist USA. No is welcome here. No ban, no wall, America is home to all. No hate, no fear, America is welcome here. No ban, no wall, America is home to all. No hate, no fear, everyone is welcome here. No ban, no wall, America is home to all. No hate, no fear, everyone is welcome here. No ban, no wall, America is home to all.
Example, if you saw how quickly the crowd parted there as soon as they heard the sirens and saw the fire truck. Protests might take over streets, but they do not block emergency vehicles. I know that's often a criticism.
We're here to shut this shit down. You feel me? Boots
I was about to get that one, but stole it. We're live right now. It is Halloween. We're in Minneapolis, marching down Lake Street at the intersection of Lake and Lyndale right now. This event was organized by MIRAC and endorsed by a lot of other local organizations.
Buck 12.
Justice for peace.
Buck 12.
Prosecute the police.
Buck 12.
Justice for peace.
Buck 12.
Prosecute the police.
Buck 12.
Justice for peace. Prosecute the police.
Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. If George don't get it,
Shut it down.
if George don't get it,
Shut it down.
if George don't get it,
Shut it down.
if Isaac don't get it,
Shut it down.
if Isaac don't get it,
Shut it down.
if Isaac don't get it,
Shut it down.
if Jamar don't get it,
Shut it down.
if Jamar don't get it,
Shut it down.
if Jamar don't get it,
Shut it down. What do we want? Justice. What do we want? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. Okay, we're gonna switch up in Spanish. Y'all ready for this? When I say, ¿qué queremos? Yo say justicia. Y yo, when I say, ¿cuándo lo queremos? Ahora. Y'all ready for that? ¿Qué queremos? Justicia. ¿Cuándo lo queremos? Ahora. 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 ¿Qué queremos? Justicia. ¿Cuándo lo queremos? Ahora.
Period. Esto es para los administradores en México que no ven y no atienden los problemas del homicidio, del feminicidio ahorita que está pasando en México. And now I'm talking about how the administration in Mexico has failed. So always pay attention to the female murders that's been happening. This fight is worldwide. This fight against these administrations that do not care and see us. This is worldwide. This is something that we all must fight together.
Native people used to live here. Fire, fire, ginger fire. Fire, fire, ginger fire. Native people used to live here. Fire, fire, ginger fire. Native people used to live here. Fire, fire, ginger fire. Native people used to live here. Fire, fire, ginger fire. Native people used to live here. Fire, fire, ginger fire. Native people used to live here. Fire, fire, ginger fire. Native people used to live here. Fire, fire, ginger fire. Native people used to live here. Fire, fire, ginger fire. Native people used to live here. Fire, fire, ginger fire. Native people used to live here. Fire, fire, ginger fire. Native people used to live here. Fire, fire, ginger fire. Native people used to live here. Fire, fire, ginger fire. Native people used to live here. Fire, fire, ginger fire. Native people used to live here. Fire, fire, ginger fire. Native people used to live here. Fire, fire, ginger fire. Native people used to live here. Fire, fire, ginger fire.
Whose land? Whose land?
Native land.
Whose land?
Dakota land.
Whose land?
Dakota land.
Whose land?
Native land.
Whose land?
Dakota land.
Whose land?
Dakota land.
Whose land?
Dakota land.
Whose land?
Native land.
Whose land?
Native land.
Whose land?
Dakota land.
What do we do?
Native lives are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up for that.
Native lives are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up for that.
Are under attack. What do you do?
Stand up for that.
Are under attack. What do you do?
Stand up for that.
Land Back 2020. What are you doing to get land back to the Dakota people?
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Unido. El pueblo unido jamás será
Jamás será vencido. Jamás será vencido.
We'll never be divided. We'll never be divided. We'll never be divided. We'll never be divided. United. We'll never be divided. The people.
United will never be divided. The people united will never be divided.
The people.
United will never be divided. Let's go. No KKK, no racist USA. No killing cops, no KKK, no racist USA. No killing cops, no KKK, no racist USA. No KKK, no racist USA. No killing cops, no KKK, no racist USA.
Trump, escucha, estamos en la lucha. Trump, escucha, estamos en la lucha. Trump,
No KKK, no racist USA.
estamos en la lucha. Trump, escucha, estamos en la lucha.
People don't stop.
No borders, no nation, no racist deportation. No borders, no nation. No nation, no racist deportation. No borders, 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 no nation, no racist deportation. No nation, no racist deportation. Cause whose land? Native land. 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 Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole we say fight back. Trump says go back. 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 We say fight back. We say fight back. Trump says go back. We say fight back. We say fight back. We say fight back. 1, 2, 3, 4.
If you're just tuning in, we're live in Minneapolis right now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
We're on 31st and Blaisdell.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 9, 10, 11.
This is the Wells Fargo
9, 10, 11.
that was
9, 10, 11.
burned during the George Floyd uprising. Coming up to a police station up here at the intersection of 31st and Nicollet. The next block over is a post office that was burned for anyone that was following what was going on at that time. We're live in Minneapolis right now at the intersection of Nicollet and 31st. We marched here down Lake, from Lagoon and Lake to the police department here. For anyone that was here or following along during the uprising right after George Floyd was killed, a lot happened right at this intersection. There's the Wells Fargo across the street. You can still see burn marks on it. It's boarded up. Over there is a post office that was burned down. A lot of people got stuck at this intersection when the National Guard moved in. A journalist lost an eye right over here. It was a really active intersection for a while. The police department here had been surrounded by concrete barricades and a fence that went out to the street, so you couldn't get this close to it. But as you can see by the paint on the sidewalk, a lot of stuff has been happening here ever since.
Que no nos hablen de sanar porque ahorita todavía tenemos mucha rabia que sacar. So here we're in the middle of our barrio. This is where we live. This is where we go to school. This is where we go to work. This is, the police are supposed to be protecting us and they don't. And there we have the scars still palpable of what has happened in this neighborhood. And we don't want them to go away because they're in our hearts, they're in our bodies, they're in our souls. And we are not, right now, we are not ready to talk about, how do we heal? No, we're still not. We're still very angry. And we're still asking everyone to share in this anger. We want justice. But like the sister Samantha was talking about earlier. Samantha, eres bien chingona. ¿Dónde estás? ¡Qué chingona eres! Nos levantaste en fuego a todos. You lifted our souls. You lifted our consciences. We're not done because no matter who gets elected, we're still in the hands of corporations. That's right. And no matter what happens on Tuesday, we still have to hold power to their work. We still have to hold power to be accountable to us, because they're not accountable to us. They don't care about us. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. So thank you, the danzantes and we always dance for the ancestors. We are the next generation of the ancestors. And that's right, and that's why we're all here. Those young girls there are going to be lifting us up. They're only 13 and 15, and we're already in their hands. So you'll give it up for the girls. Woo!
They're still at it. We're speaking just to my brother.
Friendly reminder to anyone who's watching this that isn't happy with what you're seeing. You don't have to be watching this right now. You can easily click or scroll somewhere else. Nobody's forcing you to be here.
Aiden. I'm the younger sister of Isaac Aiden, who was murdered on July 2nd, 2019 in Eagan, Minnesota. It's been a year. The officers are still free, still wandering the streets, and my brother wasn't their first kill. Two of the officers that murdered my brother have already killed someone in 2013 and 2015. And the other one, Bloomington's Police Officer of the Year, has 3 lawsuits against him for his conduct in administering tests. They're known for lying, they're known for killing, and this is just another thing for them to just wash their hands clean of. But I'm glad that there's more awareness. I'm glad people are speaking up and standing up against this institution. One thing is too that I am a Black Somali Muslim woman. My family is Muslim, my whole family, including my brother. We moved to the United States. We moved to Salt Lake City, Utah in September of 2006 from Somalia. Needless to say, my whole family did get naturalized. They are Americans. I'm the only person in my family who's still not. But one thing that does stick out to me is my grandmother saying that we fled a civil war to come here and deal with the race war. And I remember back in August of 2019, my little brother, we were at his naturalization, and I remember my grandmother crying and asking him to stand up while he was like going under oath to become an American, and like me just like encouraging him not standing up myself and saying that pretty much like we don't owe any loyalty to this country, we don't owe shit to this country, especially not after 2 months after they took our brother. And so I say that to say the struggles of a lot of Black and brown folks, especially immigrant Black and brown folks who come into this country seeking safety, especially after this country has done harm to our countries abroad, and making us come here under the impression that we'll get safety, under the impression that we'll be granted, I don't know, asylum, and then just turning around and detaining us, separating families, murdering us in the street, and then having the audacity to call us the criminals. So I'm here today to stand in solidarity, to continue to tell you to continue to fight. Whether it's Joe Biden or Donald Trump, we're still going to be in the same position like she said. We're still going to continue to get murdered. We're still going to continue to get wrongfully incarcerated. This system cannot be reformed. There's no place for reform in this system because it's working exactly the way it's meant to. And we
just need to start from scratch, and we need to remember what we're here for. We need to always, we need to always know what we're fighting for, really, because even for me, I'm sometimes not motivated all the time. I was just talking to my brother about this, and he's just kind of under the impression that, like, whether we protest or not, whether we, win this lawsuit or not, whether the officers get arrested or not, nothing is going to bring back our brother. And so it's kind of like, what am I fighting for? I'm never going to get my brother back. But it's the fact that, like, I've failed to see compassion from others. That's my motivation for fighting. It's because I don't want someone to experience what my family has gone through. That's why I fight. So ask yourselves why you fight. Force yourself to get up. Force yourself to do something. White folks, do something that is, do some unlearning, do some relearning, do some educating, do some, anything to hold yourselves accountable. Do something to challenge the system and continue to fight. Continue to check in on your BIPOC friends and family, ask them what they need, and support in any way that you can. Regardless of who's president, because I know the Women's March was canceled, but I was going to speak there, and that was part of my thing, was white women didn't feel the need to rally and protest until Trump came into office, whereas black and brown women and black and brown folks in general have felt targeted by 44 out of the 45 presidents. And for me, as a black Muslim, 45 out of the 45 presidents, really. And so regardless of who's president, we're still going to be in the same situation that we were in. And so we just need to continue that fight. We need to continue that spark, and we need to continue being hopeful and remind ourselves to be compassionate and motivate each other, check on each other, make sure we're doing good mentally, physically, emotionally. And so I want to thank you guys for coming out.
Thank you, Samaya, so much. Let's give another round for Samaya, please, everyone. And in her brother's honor, let's say his name. Say his name, Isaac Aiden. Say his name, Isaac Aiden. Say his name,
Isaac Aiden!
say his name.
Isaac Aiden!
All right, now we're going to have Loretta with TCC for Jay come up and speak for us. Loretta is an amazing human organizer, and I'd like to call friends, so thank you, Loretta.
Thank you. Like she said, my name is Loretta Van Pelt. I'm an organizer with Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar. We've been around for 5 years, starting with the fight to get justice for Jamar. Only one small victory from that was there was no grand jury in his case. And as we know, as we saw this past last month, that the grand jury system is so stupid with the case of Breonna Taylor. And the lies that could be told, and Mike Freeman just stood there and told lie after lie about Jamar. He's told lie after lie about all the other victims of police violence.
That ain't right.
And it's not right. And it's not right. This precinct here is responsible for the death of Terrence Franklin, for Justine DeMond. This precinct here, this whole department has been responsible for the deaths of many black, brown, Asian, and Native folks in this city. And they need to be held accountable for their actions. Because enough is enough. They found out on May 27th that enough was enough. We were sick and tired of being killed. We saw one death too many in this city. And they were okay with it burning to the ground. They were okay with it being burnt to the ground. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care about these buildings. I don't care about these corporations. Fuck them. Because you know what matters to me? George Floyd's life matters. Terrence Franklin's life matters. Isaac Aiden's life matters. Paul Lee's life matters. Bill Quinn's life matters. All those lives matter. Not Target, not Cub. Fuck a Target and a Cub. So you got relatives that are mourning that. Why aren't they mourning those deaths? Why aren't they saying, let's hold these cops accountable for what they did to people in communities? That's why we're for community control of the police, because enough is enough of these cops of the city just washing their hands and saying, well, it was justified. Well, he had a knife. Well, he had this. Fuck that shit. I know people who can talk down a kid who's ready to throw a desk with nothing but a walkie-talkie and words. Now, if a person can talk a kid down who's ready to throw a desk, these cops with all the fucking weapons they have can fucking de-escalate a situation without having to kill someone. And they don't need a gun. Why the fuck do they need a gun? They're not the weapon. Most people who've been killed by the police have been unarmed. The weapon is not skin. The weapon is the native person's skin, is an Asian person's skin. That's the weapon to them, and that's what they're afraid of. That's what they're afraid of. That's why we say I smell bitches, because they're a bunch of bitches. How can you fear for your life when you have the fucking gun? Why are you in fear when you have the gun? So let's say it together. Fuck 12! Fuck 12! Fuck 12! Like I said, I'm with Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar. We're hosting on November 4th, the day after the election, an action in Cedar. We're starting in Cedar Riverside, so we want you to be there with us. Because regardless of who fucking wins this election, nothing's going to change for black and brown folks. And undocumented folks. And women. And trans folks. Nothing is going to change. In fact, things might get worse. If they're not already worse. Things will get worse for us. And so I don't care if it's Biden or Trump. They don't care about our lives. And so if you think voting is gonna magically make this disappear, it's not. This system needs to disappear. Capitalism needs to disappear. So like I said, join us on November 4th, because regardless of who's in the White House, we still need to be in the streets fighting. We still need to be in the streets fighting, because they're going to continue to kill us. They're going to continue to oppress us. They're going to continue to make laws that'll make our lives miserable. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I stand in solidarity with MIRAC. I stand in solidarity with our DACA recipients, our TPS recipients. I stand in solidarity with our undocumented folks, because they're being terrorized too. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Loretta. Please give it up for Loretta.
Thank you so much, Loretta. That was powerful. To think about that, it kind of sucks, because compared to the summer, the numbers, they're not as big as they were. But at the end of the day, the fight it has to continue, because people are still going to be deported. People are still going to be killed for no reason. Lives are at stake. And if you live your life knowing that, then who are you as a human? What are you really fighting for? What is it that you wake up every day thinking about? I know for me, it's something that is just so... I have to. There's no other way of living. And I hope that y'all always think about that every single day. Know what you're fighting for. Understand it. Look at your community. See, how can I help? How can I understand where they're coming from? Even though I've never dealt with that problem. And I have the privilege to not even be in their shoes. Then walk with them. Walk with them with their shoes. All right, so our next speaker is Missy Rwanda from Anti-War Committee. Give it up for her.
I knew I wasn't going to get to keep the hat. All right, thank you. Yes, I'm Misty Rowan. I'm with the Anti-War Committee. I want to thank MIRAC for putting this on and embracing the holidays so that we could all get festive. Does everyone get my costume? Do you get the costume? If I'm a witch hunt? All right, that's my only joke. So I wrote my speech down. Sorry. Let's see. Where to begin? Where have these last 4 years gone? I remember the protest the day of his inauguration. Resist from day one is what we called it, and resist we have. We've resisted for 4 years and we basically haven't had a moment's rest. This administration seems to take a ghoulish pleasure in making everything worse. They've hit us with bad news every single day. Lies, scandals, corruption, nepotism, hate speech, hate policy, and a gross mishandling of this pandemic along with everything else. Trump has lined the pockets of his family and his rich friends while selling this country out like the con man that he is. And I remember when he got into office, his supporters were like, oh, come on, give him a chance, right? And the way that they laughed at us when people expressed real fear about what would come next. Well, we've seen what he's done with this chance now, and we've seen many of those fears vindicated. In fact, his actions turned out to be even worse than we feared, which is saying a lot. There's a lot of scary movies you could go home and watch tonight, but I think there's nothing scarier than the nightmare that we have been living in and the election around the corner. Where even the best case scenario is slightly better than a kick in the teeth. And the worst case is, well, this, a continuation of this. And at this point, we anticipate turmoil regardless of who wins. And yeah, this is an election between the lesser of two evils, but Trump is so evil. His evil is so dangerously infectious that it is clear which of them is worse. It is clear that Trump and his lies must go. Among other things he's lied about, Trump has recently had the audacity to call himself anti-war. He's the anti-war candidate, and I'm sorry, no. Trump is a lot of things. Two-faced, thin-skinned, opportunistic, but hell no, he is not anti-war. We're talking about a man who has dropped more bombs than any president before him, including the mother of all bombs in 2017, which in terms of its size and its capacity is just one step down from a nuclear weapon. He has flippantly talked about using nuclear weapons on Korea, and even his own staff members have expressed fear that he is unstable enough to do it. He's making arms deals with human rights abusers, which shouldn't surprise anyone considering his human rights abuses here at home. And worst of all, he continues to use fear-mongering and hate speech to whip up his supporters into a violent fervor. The damage done is playing out in workplaces and schoolyards all across this country, and bullying and hate crimes have seen an uptick in every city that he has visited for one of his cult rallies after the fact. Surely the only thing scarier than the Trump presidency is the prospect of another 4 years. That said, Biden isn't exactly the answer to our prayers. Here is a man who, if elected, has promised that nothing fundamentally will change. I mean, talk about a guy who can't read the room. Here we are clamoring for change. We're desperate for change. We're insistent on change. In fact, we're already changing. We are changing without the permission of the powers that be. That's right. We're already changing. And it is not our job to slow down and wait for these old men to catch up. It is not our job to soothe down the ruffled feathers of the owner class here in Minneapolis who are nervous about the next flare-up in the struggle for justice against police brutality. And they fear this disruption of business as usual, and frankly, they should. The murder of George Floyd may have been the catalyst for change, but the reckoning of racial injustice in this country has been a long time coming. And it's not going to go anywhere with the changing of the guards. Not when both parties represent the interests of the 1% and none represent the people. So what can we do? What can we expect from an election of two evils, one blatant and boastful, the other more insidious and condescending? The answer is obvious. The answer is right here. We keep fighting. We keep organizing. We keep educating people and uniting despite our differences. Divide and conquer is their game. Our game is unite to overcome. And the fact that we have done so successfully this summer has the whole world taking notice of what happens here in Minneapolis. We must continue, even as they try to do everything they can think of to stop us. Because the people should not be afraid of their government. It is the government who should be afraid of its people. When our government responds to our cries for justice with tear gas and more brutality, it is time to rise up. When they take preemptive actions like walls calling in the National Guard just in case. It is time to rise up. Because we have seen what the people are capable of, and we can do that when we come together. So I urge you to be brave and to press on. We cannot be silent, and we cannot go back to the way that it was. The way that it was is why we are in this mess in the first place. So it really doesn't matter what happens on November 3rd. Either way, we've got a lot of work to do. And I shouldn't have to explain to anyone here where change comes from. Real change comes when we raise our voices and hit the streets. People power is greater than president power. It always has been, and it always will be. So by all means, go out and vote. But don't stop there. There is too much work to be done. There is too much at stake to wait around for someone else to do it, least of all the President of the United States. So when our civil rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that!
What do we do?
Stand up like that!
That's right! All power to the people. Happy fucking Halloween!
Thank you, Miss Steve.
Give it up for her.
All right, so Gabe from Natives Lives Matter couldn't be here today, but he sent us something to read for him.
All right. So this is what Gabe said. We all know that the sorry, my bad. My bad. The atrocity that Christopher Columbus has done. But for some of you that don't know, then you should know. He came here seeking business adventures in the name of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain. Upon their arrival on the Hispaniola Islands, the lost ones came upon the Arakan people. Sorry, my bad, y'all. In an abundance of gold, in which they took advantage of. They took advantage of their love for the people in order to fulfill their greed, and took advantage of their kindness in the name of religion. In the name of God, they were murderers, rape, and torture of millions and millions of indigenous people that were genocidally slaughtered across the country, of the top of Alaska to the bottom of South America. Now with Trump in office, the hostile still isn't given. We witnessed the first thing signed into executive order was the Dakota Access Pipeline. With that, people have to worry about it leaking into our water, poisoning the water supply, all in the name of greed. We all have to worry about our missing and murdered indigenous women.
Surrounding these man camps in Canada and in the U.S., and in the ICE facilities filled with people that shouldn't be there. Nothing has changed since then. Trump is a present-day Columbus and Hitler put together. We must unite to conquer divide. Let our voices be heard in unison. There shouldn't be another Trump in office trying to tell us how to live. From Native Lives Matter movement, we stand in solidarity with MIRAC and all indigenous people across the land. Thank you.
No justice!
No peace.
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
All right, y'all ready to march back? All right, let's get it.
What do we want? What do we want? What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want? What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want it? What do we want? What do we want it?
No good cops in the racist system. No good cops in the racist system. No good cops in the racist system. No good cops in the racist. No good cops in the racist.
Hey everyone, thank you for watching. We're live in Minneapolis right now, just leaving the intersection of Nicollet and 31st, where we stopped in front of a Minneapolis police department. I'm streaming to multiple places right now, and this app doesn't always show me where comments come from, It doesn't show me all the comments. And sometimes it doesn't show the person's name. But I've been trying to pay attention to what you all are saying, and it definitely looks like we've got a handful of confused people who come in and start watching what's happening and probably pay attention to the event name, but don't listen before commenting. I cannot speak for everybody here right now, but I do know a large number of people here, and a lot of them understand that a lot of the things that are being spoken about today are not party specific. It's a super oversimplification to lump everybody in the United States into either Republican or Democrat. It is absolutely not true to say that the people involved in the uprising after George Floyd's death were just Democrats, and to blame whatever it is you think happened then that you don't agree with on people that you assume are Democrats. Every time there are events like this here, talking about the issues that are happening here locally and around the country, there is room made for people to speak that have experience with what's going on that hopefully you don't ever experience yourself. We had family today speak, family who lost somebody at the hands of police. So people who have been directly impacted in that way are not simply victims of fake news, like some people tuning in seem to think. These are people who are speaking their life experiences, some of which saw their loved ones die at the hands of police. So you look a little silly when you don't listen to those people and you come in and just comment with your own opinions. I know I can't change what everybody's gonna do, but I do wish people would just put in a couple of minutes, take some time to listen before you say something.
Indict, convict, send those
killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell.
When immigrant lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Immigrant lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When immigrant lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
All right, beautiful.
We don't get it!
Shut it down.
If George don't get it,
Shut it down.
if Isaac don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if George don't get it,
Shut it down.
if Simone don't get it,
Shut it down.
if George don't get it,
Shut it down.
if Isaac don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if George don't get it,
Shut it down.
Justice now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Want a slider?
When do we want it?
Slider?
Zero tolerance is a sham. Free the families, stop the ban. Zero tolerance is a sham. Free the families, stop the ban. Zero tolerance is a sham. Free the families, stop the ban. Tolerance is a sham. Free the families, stop the ban. Zero tolerance is a sham. Free the families, stop the ban. Zero tolerance is a sham. Free the families, stop the ban. Zero tolerance is a sham. Free the families, stop the ban. Zero tolerance is a sham. Zero tolerance is a sham. Zero tolerance is a sham. Zero tolerance is a sham.
Free the families, stop the ban. Boots on the ground. We're here to shut this shit down. Boots on the ground. We're here to shut this shit down. Boots on the ground. We're here to shut this shit down. Boots on the ground. We're here to shut this shit down. Boots on the ground. We're here to shut this shit down.
Cause ain't no power like the part of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop.
Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop.
Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop.
Black lives are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When immigrant lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When Native lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When Black lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When immigrant lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When Native lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When Black lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When immigrant lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When Native lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
We're gonna keep fighting back!
There's days where like literally it just kills my shoulders.
We're gonna fight against all
Depends on how long you have to wear it.
Yeah.
racism.
It helps keep me warm.
That's true too. Yeah, that's true too.
So if Trump says go back, we say
I'm so used to it. Like, I got these
if
straps
Trump says go
that are
back,
like for hiking.
Yeah.
So
if
now
Trump
that I'm
says
like all
go
the
back,
that's
we say go back.
I see.
If Trump
I
says
see what
go
you're
back,
That's fine.
But then
if Trump says go back,
set up with the vest,
We say fight back!
not
if
wearing.
Trump says go back,
We say fight back!
if Trump says go back,
We
There's no justice.
No peace.
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 Whose streets?
Our streets.
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 No borders, no nations, no racist deportations. No borders, no nations, no racist deportations. No borders, no nations, no racist deportation. 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 Louder, borders,
No nation. No racist deportation.
louder.
Borders. No nation. No racist deportation.
A little louder.
No borders. No nation. No racist deportation.
A little louder.
No borders. No nation. No racist deportation.
One more time.
No borders. No nation. No racist deportation. No borders. No nation. No racist deportation. No borders. No nation. No racist deportation. No borders. No nation. No racist deportation.
All right. ¿Me escuchan? ¿Me escuchan? ¿Me escuchan? Period. Porque ¿qué queremos?
We're live in Minneapolis right now
queremos?
at the tail
¿Qué
end of
queremos?
today's event.
¿Qué queremos?
We started at Lake and Lagoon, marched down Lake Street to the Minneapolis Police Department, and we're marching back
¿Qué queremos?
to where we started now.
¿Cómo lo queremos? ¿Qué queremos? ¿Cómo lo queremos? ¿Qué queremos?
There was obviously a bit of a theme today centering around Trump because he happens to be the president right now. But a lot of the speakers today made the point that
Killer cops, no KKK, no racist.
a lot of what people have been protesting against recently, they don't expect it to change regardless of the results of the election. Some of the organizations that planned today and endorsed today's event, and a lot of the people that are here are prepared to have another event to march and rally right away after the election, regardless of the results of the election.
No killer cops, no KKK, no racist USA. No killer cops, no KKK, no racist USA.
No killer cops, no KKK, no racist USA. No killer cops, no KKK, no racist USA. No killer cops, no KKK, no racist USA. No killer cops, no KKK, no racist USA.
All right, do you feel me? My people, do you feel me? ¿Me escuchan? ¿Me escuchan? All right, we're going to switch it up in Spanish again. La poli, la migra, entonces la misma porquería. La poli, la migra. La poli, la migra.
pretty sure I just saw a commenter say that everyone here was overweight. I'm not sure what that's about.
What do we want? What do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it?
All right, y'all. So we're all from this bougie ass uptown.
Friendly reminder that if you don't like what you see on this live stream right now, you don't have to be watching it. Feel free to click something else.
Native land. Native people used to live here. 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 Know it. Let them donate to the land. And let them know what they're still doing. Using the earth for their capitalistic agendas. Also, they can get the climate all the fuck they want. All the power, all the greed, and everything they have. And everything that they can get between of us. Of all of us.
Hey Jay, that's watching this on Periscope. I suggest you stop commenting and you try listening to what people are talking about here.
Well, if we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it,
And you might want to check out a map. Not quite sure what you mean by Americans. North America and South America, really big. I don't know why everybody in North America and South America would hate everybody here. If by Americans you mean people that live in the United States, citizens of the United States, that's who's here right now.
whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? Our streets. 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 Because there ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people can't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Thanks again, everyone, for watching today's live stream here in Minneapolis. Like I said, and like some of the speakers have mentioned a couple of times, a lot of people here will be rallying in the days following the election, regardless of the results of the election. I won't be here for that. I'll be in Washington, D.C. next week.
on this great day and great way, knowing that we were combating the system, we were combating administration was never ever cared for us, that is built on racism, that is built on capitalism, that is built for only the white man to thrive. And so I hope that y'all leave here knowing that y'all are all leaders. Y'all can go out in your communities, bring about unity, bring about power and change within yourselves. Because every time you gather up people, you have a conversation, you talk about like how is it that we can stop these capitalistic people by supporting the people that are in our communities through our own money, through our own ways, through our own talents, through our own creativity. Keep pushing in this fight. Because it doesn't just mean marching, it means educating, it means loving, it means empowering, it means keeping on going.
Just to go off of that, I just want to say that, practicing joy, acting with joy is the act of self-care, and I just want a round of applause for it because we were able to do a joyous thing for a right reason. So if we can do that, let's make sure to do that. Also, just a reminder, TCC for J and many others are going to have a post-election protest. It is going to be November 4th. It's going to start at 6 p.m. and the address again is 301 Cedar Avenue South. Please find us on social media if you have any questions to answer them. Thank you again for standing with us in solidarity, and a round of applause for everyone.
All right, real quick, let's give thanks to the native land here.
Buenas tardes, or good afternoon, y'all. So I just want to remind us that this is Dakota land. This is Dakota land, this is Dakota land, this is Dakota land. And so if you guys can all do, if everyone can do it with me, we're going to say Tlazo Kamati, which means gracias, which means thank you, in my native tongue, which is Nahuatl. So we're going to hold our hearts. We're going to say Tlazo Kamati. And we're going to take it to the ground for Madre Tierra. Lali. And we just say Tlazo Kamati por esta Colombia. Tlazo Kamati por esta Colombia, which means thank you for this day.
Alright, thank you so much, Angelica. Real quick, I just want to announce that tomorrow we are going to be hosting a Dia de los Muertos event in East Side Indigenous Roots and on South Side at the George Floyd Memorial. The one on the east side will be at 1 and the one on the south side will be at 5 o'clock. We're going to be honoring the people that were lost to police brutality with the way that in a Mexican Mexica custom. And we're going to be having speakers, poets, flowers, and just dedicating to the people that we have lost. We're also going to be marching from George Floyd Square. We're going to be marching to Mario's Memorial and honoring the death of him and how he never got justice because he was an illegal immigrant and they didn't even bother to look at his case. So I hope y'all come out for that. South side is at 5, east side is going to be at 1 o'clock. Oh, and then, my bad. And then the next day, if y'all can't make it tomorrow, then there's going to be more Dia de los Muertos on Monday, which is going to be on north side at 4 o'clock, and then west side at El Borito at 6:30. We're going to be honoring the people that we have lost through this system, through this fucking nefarious, evil system that does not care for us. So thank y'all so much. I hope you guys have a happy Halloween.
Alright, everyone, please leave safely with someone. Let someone know that you're safe when you get home, all that good stuff. Take care of your community. Thank you guys.
No justice?
No peace.
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 Period. ¡Que viva la revolución!
thank you everybody for sticking with us and watching today's rally and march, and for sharing this live stream, and even thank you to the trolls that say nobody cares and nobody's listening, even though they're listening and watching because they're taking the time to comment. All those comments actually help more people see this live stream, so thanks for that. I'm gonna end this now. Keep an eye out for live streams from the Twin Cities of those events that are happening the next few days, as well as right after Election Day. Like I said, I will be in Washington, D.C. I'm going to be there for Election Day and for the Million Mask March and for the Black People's March on the White House. So if you're interested in any of those things, look for live streams from me next week. Thanks again, everybody. Have a happy and fun Halloween, and stay safe wherever you are.